Welcome, welcome everybody to Fighting for Better Health. This is Tracy Dewar. I am head of sales of Youngevity Down Under. I'm also a Wallach warrior, a certified holistic health coach, and I'm also an author to my book called The Unwrapped Leader, and I host a podcast every week as well, The Unwrapped Leader. But I come to you guys today because I am incredibly passionate about finding all the different ways that you can help you fight for better health. And one of the ways we have found is through our Dr. Wallach himself. He is an author to over 18 books. He's world renowned for Dead Doctors Don't Lie. He has a documentary called The Audacity of Health. He does over 300 lectures a year. He so much believes that we have 90 nutrients that our body needs, essential nutrients our body needs to do amazing things. He's discovered that there's over 900 different illnesses and issues related to mineral deficiencies. And so in all the 50 years of studies, he has formulated and come together with, backed by science, with a company called Youngevity. And Youngevity is run by his son, Steve Wallach, as well as his daughter-in-law, Michelle Wallach, as they passionately drive this business on being able to live younger, longer, with a results-driven products. And so our promise is to bring you pure, beautiful products, the potency of the products, absorbable products, products that are backed by science, products that you can be proud of. And we have Wallach warriors around the world. In over 14 countries, we have head offices, but we deliver to 45 different countries. And clearly, two of the countries we love the most is Australia, New Zealand, and Australia and New Zealand. That's what I'm trying to say. So tonight's call is going to be not only about low-tox living by one of our very own experts and ambassadors, but a day in a life with Youngevity. Not only do we have our core nutrition products, our 90 for Life products for optimal nutrition, and we have targeted nutrition products, but we have a wide range of products that cover all the different areas, our skincare and our beauty, as well as our essential oils, of course, our favorite Nature Direct products of our cleaning products, as well as our spices and even fashion and beauty. So there's a wide range. And so we want to talk about not just getting feeling good from within, but feeling good from without. And let's face it, we are being bombarded more than ever before with toxins around our environment, in our home, in our skincare, in our hair care. Oh my God, even in our fragrances. And so our beautiful host tonight our guest tonight comes to us with a wealth of experience. Not only has she been in the industry herself well over 30 years, am I allowed to say that? But she's going to share with us how she seamlessly incorporates her can't live without products from morning to night. She utilizes all the different brands that Youngevity has in her low-tox living lifestyle. She has a remarkable 16-year tenure in her business as a business owner with our Nature Direct products, but she's also not only the co-founder, but the co-owner. So she's a dedicated member of Youngevity now for over 6 years, and she has received awards from Youngevity for the Rebound Award, the Circle of Influence recognition, as well as she is a 2-star executive. Now, those are just a few accolades that she has. I want her to share a little bit more with you where she comes from and what has brought her here today. Because number one, she is helping others choose a healthier lifestyle as she specializes in healthier options to those around seeking clean and sustainable journey. I don't know. How's that sound for a bio there, Jeanette? So a huge welcome. We love to hear what you have to share. And I thought this was a perfect topic for you to share. So welcome, Jeanette. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I really appreciate your welcome. That's stunning. I'll have to live up to it. That's one thing for sure. Well, I wanted to quickly introduce myself from the point of view of why I even became interested in low-tox living in the first place. I have a daughter with asthma, and she was very young when she was first diagnosed. But what I often did, looking back now, I'm just as you were saying that, I'm thinking what I tended to follow was what my mother actually did. And one of the things that she used to do was actually make a lot of bone broth. I was born with a congenital back problem. So for my life, I've been making 6 litres and 8 litres of bone broth and stinking the house out for as long as I can remember. And in fact, one of the products at Youngevity has saved me. I can now only, I usually make bone broth for cooking purposes and drink, I add it to drinks. But now I've got my glucogel, which is bovine gelatin. I don't have to drink 6 litres a day. So Low-Tox living really began in 2007 when I was working with a network marketing company out of Dallas, and my business partner, Neil Reed, and Carla Hart, who was at the time a good friend and our master distributor, we then became our master distributor. We actually were approached by a Swiss company to introduce a disinfecting formula, which looks like that. It's a pink one. That's sort of, you can see that there, called Enviromist. That's sort of our trademark product. And it's entirely plant-based. It has what they call a biocidal category, which we don't like to use because it's a really scary word, but in effect, it's an air control product and disinfectant. I'll just tell you a little bit of story about this though. When we started to produce this, I contacted our lawyer, and we said, look, we really need to get a patent on this particular product. And he said, great, what is it? I said, that's this, that, and the other. He said, look, don't worry, we'll find the opposition and we'll just copy what they're doing. And about 3 days later, he rang back and said, there's really nothing like this on the market. I can't find anything like it at all. So it was quite interesting to see how he actually, this evolved, and we then started to realise how unique this product was, which really sent us into that whole pathway of plant-based as well. So I come from a family where my mother and father grew fruit. Their backyard was filled with fruit trees. It was always filled with vegetables. So we were very much we're a wealthy family. So my mother would make lots of things and sew as well. I'm a good seamstress, if you like, or sew. And because that's what you did back then in the day. Things are different now. So thank goodness that we are really embarking on a different lifestyle now. But what often happened though with those times, and some of you might remember, some of you look old enough to remember these times, is that often we followed the habits of our parents. And that was really true in regard to any kind of cleaning product and air control products. In fact, it's quite devastating. And I'm just going to use them as an example, because when we started looking for what was out on the market, we tried to read labels of cleaning products. And what we found, an air control product, basically air fresheners, that kind of thing. What we found is that there's something called proprietary privacy. So we were actually unable to find anything about these products that were readily available that you and Sharon and Karen and everybody on this call who's listening in the future have been basically assuming that they're safe to use. And there's no way of knowing if they're not safe. But what you can do is actually start to really start to make a conscious decision. So what we found is that we started to ask around, and we did trial groups everywhere. You can call them parties, but that's basically what they were. And we basically said, has anybody really ever made a conscious decision about their cleaning products? Most people did if they wanted to save money, and they would use lemon and they would use bicarb, only to find that it was affected the seals on their showers, on their ovens. So these particular if you consider natural remedies, they're not entirely satisfactory. And if they were satisfactory, people would keep using them, but they don't. In fact, what we did find, just to give you an idea of the extremes that people go to, I remember going to a home in Melbourne, and they had, this is bizarre, in their shower, they actually had sea snails around the shower. And what the snails did was crawled around and basically ate the various residue that's on the glass of the shower or the bath or whatever. So that was probably the most extreme thing I found. But what we found is that people were really willing to try green products, but they really were disheartened by them because generally they didn't work. And if something doesn't work, then the story may be fabulous, but if it's not working, then people won't buy it again. And that's so true about the industry that we're in. So what we started to find was really starting to look at our own cleaning products. And some of you may be familiar with this particular one. It's a product called Domestos. It's been on the Australian market since the 50s in various names. It's a bleach product called sodium hypochlorite. It's highly toxic. Many of you have probably cleaned the shower and have actually taking your clothes off because you wouldn't want to get the bleach on your clothing. So often that happens. And I know innately I used to basically send my children out on a Saturday with Gary, and I would use not only one bleach, I'd use a toilet duck as well. And so I can't imagine how toxic the air was around that product. But by far the most toxic products that are on the market are actually air control products. There's something wrong with the screen, Tracy. I'm seeing Diane's ceiling. Maybe you can, it's really distracting. I might see, it's covering my whole screen and all I can see is Diane's.
Okay, we can see you full screen though, sweetheart.
Okay, that's great. Okay.
I'll go and mute her.
Thank you. So this is a product, this is just an air freshener, and it's made by Johnson & Johnson, which is a trusted family company, many of you know, and it eliminates odors and odor-causing bacteria in the air. And of course, it kills the viruses and all the things that have been floating around forever. But the warnings on these were really the only evidence that there's something going on inside this product that we're not aware of. And I'll just read it to you because some of you may have not heard this before. Caution, eye irritant, keep out of reach of children and pets, highly flammable. Avoid contact with food and food utensils, may irritate eyes. Avoid spraying near eyes. Before using the product throughout your home, use in one room and wait 24 hours to ensure that no one has any physical reaction to the product. Asthma and allergy sufferers, consult your doctor before using this product in your home. Before spraying, remove birds. After use, ventilate normally prior to returning the birds to the treated area. Now, some of you may have heard about the canaries in the gold mines, and that's exactly what this was. So it begs to wonder why on earth you would use this product in your home. Largely, people buy these products based on advertising. And largely, they buy them without reading labels. So what we really started to do at Nature Direct, as we started to really get out there, and in fact, Nature Direct has had, at the time when we became part of Youngevity, we had well over 1 million customers in Australia. So very, very dedicated people who not only love the story about Nature Direct, the plant-based nature, where we really wanted to reduce the toxins in people's homes, but also the fact that it was made in Australia and it was a concentrate. So for example, one of these made up 5 spray bottles. So before a startup company became a became a thing, and before that sort of environmental products became a thing, we were part of that very, very early trend. So that when we came to Youngevity, I was really faced with a barrage of questions from our distributor field because they were all so puristic in what they were looking for. They absolutely jumped all over the essential oils because the essential oils, of course, are just incredibly beautiful, and that's only part of our range. And tonight, this afternoon, while I was getting ready for this call, I started gathering the products that I have and I use every day. And this is not even all of them. So I guess what I wanted to do is really start from the beginning of the day. But I really found that, these products are something that are with me every day. I read the ingredients, and if you've all got pens, one thing I do always encourage people to do is go to visit environmentalworkinggroup.org. EWG.org, and you can basically type in any name of any chemical. It will give you a grading on it from 0 to 10. For example, water has a score of 2. So everything is a chemical. It doesn't have to, it's not necessarily toxic, but everything has a chemical name for it. So it's a really good site to go on and follow. And I use it all the time when I'm stuck for chemical names and I need to know some of the countries where products are banned. I get asked questions all the time. Is this product okay? Is this ingredient okay? So I have become an ingredient, if you like, devotee. I spend my whole time reading ingredients and looking to see what they are. There's some I won't touch at all. So but on the other hand, I also realise that it's part of life these days. We have to live with what we've got in our homes. Plastic, for example, is part of how we live. There is no safe plastic at all, but it's best that if you are going to use plastic, then you basically use it so that you don't cook with it, and you try to, if you like, freeze it or keep dry products in it, but certainly don't cook it in the microwave or some of the places that people have explained to me. So, but you can't be fanatical about it. Plastic is part of what we live. We just have to really try to manage what we're doing by basically reusing, reducing, and recycling. And we did try that in the beginning. We tried to send bottles back, but that was just completely not practical because we never knew what was in them in the first place. So we had to be really sure about that. Safety is a big factor in as far as ingredients go with these products. So that's sort of the beginning of our company. And then we just basically got out there and started sharing this message, which is pretty well what Dr. Wallach and the 90 for Life message is all about. So I really want to share what I do every day. I guess the first thing I do is I have a shower, and I love the muscadine products, the muscadine shampoo. It's fabulous. I just love it. I really do. I can't be without it. It's cocoa mango flavor, no fragrance, or sort of, lovely scent. And it's a beautiful product. It's got some great stuff in it with really good ingredients. Just to give you an idea, ingredients are down the bottom is the one with the least amount of ingredient in it. So the top is the highest and the bottom is the least amount. One thing I like about Youngevity is the choice that we have in our business. I love that because I actually have fallen in love with a conditioner made by another brand within the Youngevity product called Simply Hers, which is a Hydra Smooth, sulfate-free, paraben-free conditioner. Has anyone tried it? I love it. It's fantastic. Okay, so if you want to jot this down, you will want to pick up some of these products. And then when I go downstairs every morning, the first thing I do is have a scoop of BTT, the fantastic BTT, and I have it in a big, large, cold glass of water, stir it quickly with a spoon, and I have some particular products with it. These are my first things I have before I have my coffee. I wait an hour to have my coffee. I have 2 of the muscadine grape seeds. They're actually a really fantastic antioxidant. They're quite clever because what they have 2 extra chromosomes, which gives them greater genetic ability that really helps particularly cardiovascular and joint health. So I love this one. Can't be without that one. And of course, Cell Shield. It's fantastic. It's got so many fantastic ingredients in it. And I have 3 of those every day. So I have 3 of those, 3 of those.
And the Cell Shield is an anti-aging product.
Anti-aging, yep. It's got a proprietary blend. It's just fantastic with what it's got in it. And keep in mind, many of you are familiar with Ben Fuchs, who's one of our fantastic medical advisors that we actually have access to when you become part of Youngevity, which is just the best thing ever. To be able to have that kind of expertise is just phenomenal. And he basically has said from day one that I've been listening to him, all disease is a cell disease. So protect your cells. So this one here, Cell Shield. So then, of course, it's time to stick some makeup on. So what I do, I love the makeup. I love it. I love it. Love it. I love this Sugar Honey. I shouldn't talk about that because if it runs out, I'll scream. Sugar Honey. I love that. I love the glosses as well. I love the mascara. I love the extra one that actually makes your lashes longer. So I keep that in a little bag like that. And then the makeup, I think personally, Tracy, is the star product. I don't think people really understand how good it is when you, as a woman of my age, I'm 67, and there's nothing I haven't tried, but honestly, this stuff is perfect. What I did do early on with Youngevity is go to visit the mineral mine in Utah. So, and I know there's a lot of mineral makeups. I know there's a lot of mineral products out there, but believe me, no one goes to the trouble to get things right other than Youngevity. They're sticklers for getting things right and for really making all products pure. They're very compliant, and I love that about them because I trust them, and I trust Steve Wallach. I trust Dr. Wallach. I trust the people I deal with, and I think that's part of business, Tracy. You've got to get to know people, then you've got to like them, and most importantly, you have to trust them. So then it's time for breakfast, and of course, what I do love is the seasoned salt. These are Sabre products. I think we've got these still. They're fantastic. The other one is this slow barbecue. If you're doing a slow cooked lamb or something, Graham, you must use this. It's amazing. Okay, so don't leave home without it. And then of course there's toothpaste. It's fantastic. The toothpaste is fabulous. So that's morning, and I have these probiotic and prebiotic sticks on my desk, and I think I probably just have them on the desk because I like to actually put them in my mouth, and it just makes me feel good. So that's why I have them. And then, of course, we're talking through the day. Now, the products that I cannot live without, I was very fortunate in the very beginning to get a telehealth appointment before telehealth was a thing with Peter Glidden. And these are the two products which he basically recommended, the glucogel and the turmeric. So I take these as well. I take a good dose of these. I'll probably take close to 15 a day of these ones. So glucogel, and I know the thing is, I know these work because if I stop using it, that's when I start to get a burning shoulder, an achy foot, or whatever. So this stuff's phenomenal. And turmeric, of course, is really fantastic for all kinds of antioxidants. A really powerful one. This Steve Wallach, according to Steve Wallach, is the most purest turmeric curcumin product on the market. It's incredible. So I take those, and then we're getting towards the evening. And of course, I'm cleaning up the house with my Nature Direct. I won't go into that because my desk isn't big enough. I tell you what I have adopted though. At lunchtime, I'll make a shake. Has anybody tried this with fruit in it, like blueberries? And I actually put a scoop of the super greens in the chocolate. It's fantastic. So this is a TMR chocolate one. And if you add a scoop of super greens, and maybe mince up something in it as well. I usually blend it. I have that when I get home from my class because I do a lot of exercise during the week as well. I'm talking too long, I know. So I've already spoken about my BTT. I make my drinks up. I always add 2 scoops of the collagen bone and joint. I was already buying this stuff anyway.
Jeanette,
Yep.
you've got plenty of time and you can slow down and enjoy. Yep, you're good. You're doing well.
Okay, I wasn't sure how long these calls go for. And of course, there's the osteo, which of course I have at night. And I've got to say, and Gary's not home tonight, so I can talk about this. Gary had shocking restless leg, and I'm not really sure when that went away. I just know that one day we were just talking about it. I said, it doesn't happen anymore. It used to drive me nuts. I felt like putting a brick on his leg. So if you have a partner or somebody who really struggles, you know those people who sometimes are sitting in meetings and their legs are going like this and they're fiddling all the time? Guess what? This is what they need. It's phenomenal. I have found my sweet spot with this product. I take a scoop and a quarter, sometimes a scoop and a half. You do have to find your sweet spot for that particular product because it's different for everybody. Where are we? So I'm trying to make the screen back to you, Tracy. Can I have that, Tracy? Can you?
What would you like?
Thank you. Just you did it just then. So, you know, in the bathroom, multiple visits, of course, during the day. If you haven't got one of these to use in your bathroom, then you are probably using some nasty toxic air control product like that. So Environmist, 25 mils of that into that with cold water, and that's just what you need to freshen up your toilet, and in fact sinks in anywhere else, to be honest with you. I've got one in my car. I also put one in my gym bag because often if they're sitting in the car, they stink like crazy, my runners, that kind of stuff. So you really have to have one of those on hand. So it's almost bedtime. So here I am, bedtime. So what I do have at nighttime though is I have my revitalizer on. I'll turn that on. I wasn't going to have it on. We have 5 of these in our house. So some of you probably already have them. If you really want to clean the air and help people sleep and keep everything fresh, then that's really a one-stop shop. It really is. It's got a fantastic level of white noise that's below 60 decibels, and that really helps people it helps the brain to be distracted. That's what white noise is about. Sometimes people who can't turn their brains off at night, is anybody like that? My mind sometimes goes like that. So white noise is designed to actually detract from what you're thinking. So it's your brain going, what is that noise in the background? It's so annoying. And that's what your brain is doing. What I do use all the time is 2 essential oils. These are my daily go-to. This is a lovely, beautiful wrap one. They make great presents. I've got to tell you, Mother's Day is coming up. Think about this now because you can really start to buy some really lovely gifts before they go out of stock. Don't tell everybody, okay? Then that way we'll be able to keep them. And this is To Be at Peace. You can rub that anywhere. You can put it on your children as well. The To Be range is really safe for children. And that's what we love about our essential oils. I know when we became part of Youngevity, the essential oil component was scrutinized by our scientist in France, and he came back with, you know, what they call the the labelling laws and why they're so effective and why Youngevity have gone to so much trouble to have these particular essential oils at the level they are. The other thing I can't sleep with, of course, is our good night oil. I bought a bottle just out of a set, and then I add to this every month. I just mix it with a probably maybe a couple of tablespoons of jojoba oil, and then the good night oil. And if you haven't smelt this, is anybody not using the good night oil? Oh, honestly, it's beautiful. It's just the best. Now, the other thing I use at night is this product. Now, I bet no one has ever seen this before. You probably gathered by now I'm a big fan of muscadine. This is the Soothing Relief Spray. Have you tried this, Tracy?
Yes, it's beautiful.
It is lovely.
Beautiful.
It's also really good on if you've perhaps been out in the sun and you've got a little bit on your shoulders. It's just the most divine product. It really is. So if you are looking at some kind of presents, buy yourself one of those nice little boxes and then basically get some nice tissue paper. It's a really lovely present.
Again, to highlight the muscadine line is the grapeseed extract. Yep. Go and Google grapeseed extract. Like, just go and see the incredible health benefits of that. And this product line has that an incredibly premium product line ingredient in that line.
I love it. In fact, I forgot my moisturizer. There's a really thick, beautiful, juicy moisturizer I use on my legs. I wear a lot of shorts because I'm outside all the time. So it's a fabulous moisturizer. Gary uses it all the time. He uses the men's range as well. In fact, I must remember to order a shaving cream. So, and then at night time, what I do take at night, I take 2 of these, eat less, because they are really good for bloating and they're really good for any kind of, they just make you feel better in the morning. Everything's much smoother and a lot easier. So if all of you get what I'm trying to say.
So you recommend nighttime for that one?
Nighttime. 2 at night, sometimes 3. In fact, I know the formulator of this. I've actually stayed with them, the Dennison family. She's amazing, this woman, and Laura Dennison. She's just the level they both go to making sure these ingredients are scrupulously tested. And so I just love that about this company. I love the fact that they do that. And you can say I'm enthusiastic about it, but you know, to have all of this in one shop, so to speak, and I guess it is one shop, it's your shop, is phenomenal. Then, of course, the very nighttime, I always add a couple of biocalcium to my diet at night because it actually helps me sleep. I know I'm at my age, I need a lot more calcium. I take a lot of calcium, and so I take a couple of those at night as well. I also know a lot of people who take them because they really don't like drinks or anything like that, so it's a particularly good product for them. And then on my bedside table every night, I give Gary 3 nightly essence. He's got rheumatoid arthritis, so I won't even go to the level of what he actually uses. But, you know, this is a phenomenal product, and I can't wait to hear Joanne Conaway on Saturday at our event, because she really recommends this. I've also met her personally and spent some time with her, and you know, they're good, honest people, and they're really concerned about people's health, and they really believe in what they're doing. Just like I believe in Nature Direct. I know that, you know, it's tough to think about low-tox living, but one thing I must say is that start somewhere. And if you start with the cleaning products in your home, then it's such a fundamental place to begin. You know, I'm just going to give you some facts about that. And Grant, you might be able to back me up on this one. You know, some of the things that people used in their homes when I was a child, with bleach, obviously, but DDT, which is a really toxic product, was only banned in Australia in 1987. Now, my daughter's 37 on Friday, and she was still alive. She was just born when that product was banned. So, in fact, what they found, and this is equally scary, they measured the tissue of women Stephanie's age, and certainly in the US, they actually had, they stopped using DDT in the 70s. They found DDT that had never been sprayed in their state or in any way part of their lifestyle or their location. They found DDT in their breast milk. And these are women, Stephanie's age, born in 1987. That's ridiculous. And that comes from the soil. So that kind of insidious nature of chemicals is really what it's about. And I'm also going to talk about one thing which is really close to my heart. And I know that I've spent a lot of time traveling to China over the years. I used to work out of Hong Kong as well. And what we did is we visited the factory where they made these units, the revitalizers. And we really kept this company going during the 2008 recession, the global financial problems that we're having. And then what they started to talk about was plastic sponges and Chuck's wipes. You know those wipe things that people buy, and you can buy them in the packs. They're highly disposable. Most people end up flushing them down the toilet, which is really, just because it says flushable doesn't mean to say you should flush it. It's that simple. But what they were talking about, and through an interpreter, was that when these products are produced, we're talking sponges and those wet wipes and all of those types of things, and the Chucks and the whatever, they produce dioxins, and the dioxins are in the air. And that's what happens. They're still there. They don't go away. They're still in the atmosphere somewhere. So just because they're in China doesn't mean to say that we're not impacted by it. So have a think about the environmental factor around these products as well. I think Youngevity go to an enormous amount of effort to actually stick to plant-based ingredients, because they know that synthetic products are generally not good for a person. We at Nature Direct always use, we've always used plant-based products except for our commercial product. And we're very proud of the fact that we've really maintained a business. We're now coming to our 17th year. So that's really interesting when you think about it. So I think I've got 3 things to say before we finish though. Number 1, avoid synthetic ingredients, especially in cleaning products, at all costs. Now, you may not know what the synthetic ingredient is, so you need to read the label and look for the warning levels. You'll see skull and crossbones. You'll see all kinds of warnings. Keep out of reach of children. They have to be in a particular font size. All those rules and regulations about products and labeling laws are there as warnings, but because they are not required to actually release and talk about the active ingredient. So it's a really scary thing to actually consider. The second thing I'd love you to start doing is start reading labels on products all the time. And I know many of you do. And if you get stuck with a product and with an ingredient, you can't find what it is, don't be scared of the name. If you can't pronounce it, it's probably because you just can't pronounce it. But you'll find if you type it into the Environmental Working Group chart, they have a calculator there. Type the name in or copy and paste it, and it will come up the level of toxicity that particular ingredient is, if you like. And then, of course, the other thing is you need to get educated. Get educated about synthetic ingredients. And I know that we do this as well at Youngevity. Follow the Environmental Working Group.org, and I'm not paid by them, but I am an Alex Stewart alumni, if you like, and she runs an incredible low-tox living program, which is 2 years long. It was grueling, actually, where she actually controls what you're talking about with regard to low-tox living all around the house. I mean, everything you touch, you can choose different levels, and you can be aware of what you're actually looking for and what you actually need, and you can start to say, okay, I'm not going to use that product, I'm not going to use that paint, I'm not going to use that floor cleaner. Somebody asked me if I could talk about volatile organic compounds. Have I got time to talk about that, Tracy?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So volatile organic compounds are what the smell you can smell or the smell you cannot smell. So I'll just give you an idea. Our products, which there's the Embark Air, which is the one that you see that's in the machine there. This is what they call VOC free, volatile organic compound free. So, but what happens is volatile organic compounds are often, you can't smell them, because what happens when you go into a house, you go into a house sometimes and you'll find that there are you can smell the house. It might be the cat. It might be perhaps I remember that my father used to smoke a pipe. So whenever in the house, of course, he smoked in the house. And those types of things are the house's smell. So what you'll find, though, is you become used to that smell. So you can't actually smell any bad ingredient. I'm going to quickly talk about what happened. I belong to a cleaning association called Clean Scene, which is like a professional cleaning and air control body. And what they did is they did a test on VOCs in a childcare centre. It was in Tasmania. And what they did is they measured the level of VOCs at 180 centimeters, which is basically 6 foot from the ground, and the level of VOCs was certainly 0.001, so it's very, very minimal. But what happened, they measured the level of VOCs at 30 centimeters from the floor, and the level was over 1,000 times greater than the acceptable level. And that's because VOCs are very heavy molecules. Now, I'm not in the habit of lying around the floor, but what you will find is that your children are, your grandchildren are, often you'll be your dogs, your cats, and that kind of insidious ingredient, if you like, or molecule is everywhere. And what you'll also find is if sometimes you might get itchy eyes, sometimes you might have an itchy nose, or perhaps you suddenly get a weird rash on your skin because you've touched something. And VOCs have that effect on people. So volatile organic compounds are really a big factor in learning more about children's allergies. I don't know about you, Tracy, and certainly Grant, but when my kids went to school, I don't remember people having EpiPens everywhere. But I know that when I was teaching Christian education in prep to 1 and my grade 4, 5, and 6s, and I did that for 8 years, the number of children with EpiPens that they had all the time, it was crazy. And where did that happen? How did it start?
Well, again, to build on that, and I won't take a deeper dive, but just a highlight, in the 1990s, 1 in 500 kids, had autism, and now it's 1 in 50. So you tell me.
I know, there's so many things. And I've got to say, you often don't know about things like VOCs. And I bang on about these VOCs all the time. I won't use synthetic products. I won't use synthetic bath bombs. I won't use synthetic candles. I don't like using them because I know that the fragrance creates a VOC, volatile organic compounds. I mean, I've got a little boy next door to us, or he's not a little boy anymore. He's allergic to curry. And he can't even have the curry cooking without getting an asthma attack. So that kind of impact can really hit you when you are least aware. And I think that we have a responsibility to starting with our own homes. Look around the house and really make a good decision about what you're buying. Start reading labels, start reusing things, start recycling things. And I think you'll feel better about yourself because sustainability is a big word. And I think we're all really a part of that now. Whereas back in 2007, when NatureX started, it wasn't really, we started talking about it, but it was really, it was something that people really didn't engage in those days, back in those days.
Well, that is a wealth of knowledge, and I thank you so much for your expertise and experience, and just even the essence that you share with us. You have so much energy and passion about it, and it really makes a difference. And so I loved you the reuse, reduce, recycle, pay attention, read the labels. And again, it comes down to, we talk about, a healthier, self, heal thyself. We need to take responsibility to educate ourselves and be accountable, because if we don't, what's going to happen?
Yep.
So I wanted to share that Heather Gretchen, she did a Low-Tox living tips. So go to our YouTube channel and you can actually see she's got 10 tips. I even put here in the chat the link to the actual flyer on the tips and recommended products to be able to do your Low-Tox living that supports this call. Yep. And this is our 11th episode out of our Fighting for Better Health. And so all the other episodes are on that YouTube channel link. If you haven't had a chance to see them, they're there. And when you're watching these episodes, who do you think of when you're listening to them? Because when you think of somebody, because I just recently was with Joanne Conaway doing her recording for our event because she can't make the actual day. So I did the recording. It was a great, by the way, episode. But as I'm listening, I'm thinking of people. So I can't wait to be able to share that link with them. So, I sat there, I've listened, and I couldn't help but think of you. I know this is an issue and a challenge you have. If there's any information in here that you feel could be of value to me, please reach out to me. Like, this is why we did all these recordings. And so tonight is the last of our live recordings for now. We will add to the series, though, Dr. Wallach He's going to be live on Saturday, so that'll be recorded and we will share it here in the YouTube channel. Ben Fuchs will be live for the Tuesday, and so we will have his recording. It'll be uploaded onto this YouTube channel. We're going to have Joanne Conaway's recording in this YouTube channel. So that'll complete our Fighting for Better Health series. I don't know what we'll be doing next, but I just wanted to say I want to thank all of the speakers that have come together and shared on these episodes and shared at all of our events. It's been epic. It's made a difference. And also, if you go on that YouTube channel, you will see last year we did I think 13 episodes of was it a YGY checkup? And so we had a wealth of our experts and passionate Wallach warriors in the field share their testimonies, tips, and trainings on a lot of different topics. So again, there's a heap of information there. I want to remind everybody, we have 4 days to go till we kick off to Why Not More in 2024. And we are talking about having more better health, having more wealth. We're talking about having more fun, just being more, having more, and doing more. So we look forward to having you guys. We have 80 people registered over the next 4 events. So I'm challenging everyone that is currently registered to bring somebody with you. Let's double those numbers by everyone that's currently registered to double. And if you're on this call today, and you're not registered, and if you're within a 3-hour range of any of these locations, Melbourne, Gold Coast, Sydney, Christchurch, we highly recommend fill your car up, have some fun, come and join us. We're going to have some great speakers. We're going to have some taste testings. That product that you just recommended there, Jeanette, the pre and probiotic Pixie Sticks. Everybody that comes, well, technically the first 20 people will get a Pixie Stick to taste test, and we're going to have a new product that we are launching. So
I know. I'm so glad you're doing that. I'm excited by it. I'm not allowed to tell anybody, and I hate secrets because I can't keep them, but that's fantastic. Thank you.
Well, let's just say we are taking nutrition to a new level to those that cannot absorb and does not like powders or tablets. This is a liquid multivitamin that has huge 5 times the absorption rate. So there you go. I let a little secret out. So come and taste test that at our events. And so other than that, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody for participating. So before I close this off, I'm going to just stop the recording.